Hello, people of the internet. My name is the Sneezing Monkey, and today I'm bringing you a little bit of Max Payne 3 gameplay. I bought that a few days ago on Steam on a Steam sale. I think I just paid £7, which is ridiculous. Thing is, I didn't buy it on release because I wasn't really sure about the game. Can it live up to the expectations? The previous games were really good. On top of that, I didn't have that much time to play video games, so I didn't buy it, and now the sale came along and I just purchased it. And I have to say, I nearly regret that I didn't pay more for it because it's such a great game. There were quite a few story shooters that I've played, recently, the last several months, but I have to say, no shooter kind of immersed me into the game and into the story as well, like this one. It just has Rockstar written all over it. It feels so raw and brutal, and often the reality that the game shows you is quite scary. I mean, let me give you an example. I'm trying not to spoil here, but there's one scene where you are in these favelas in Sao Paulo, right? And you go into this bar, not saying why or whatever, but it's not a bar. It turns out it's like just a space which is really run down, terrible looking, and you walk through corridors, and in every room left and right from you, you can see women having, intercourse with potential paying customers. So it's just not a very nice scene, and it's shockingly authentic when you walk through this corridor, and then there's this rundown strip bar with nobody in them, but a woman dancing on a pole, and it's just this incredibly bizarre and sad picture of how it probably really is in these areas. So these moments just hit you so hard, and that brings the story to life and the character and the whole experience in such an impressive way. It's very, very well done. Basically, it is, I don't know, just like an action movie should be. That's how it feels. Also, it's surprising how the mechanics of this bullet time effect, how that mechanic still works after so many years so well and keeps you so entertained all the time. It's just incredible to see. But let's talk a little bit about the game itself. I mean, you can see now here you always have activities between the shootouts that are slightly different and make the game more interesting. Like now you have to protect your friend. He's hiding down there so they can't get him, and I have to hold his back free. And that sounds kind of boring because you have that in other games as well. It's nothing new or anything. But it kind of makes the game, in combination with these loads of story sequences, where it's just about characters interacting. It makes the game so much more interesting and engaging, and I can't wait to finish it off. Another thing is the skill that the game requires. It's not too easy, but it's also not too hard. It's, in my opinion, just right. So you will die regularly, but then they have this great mechanic where every time you fail in a certain situation, you die, you respawn at the latest save point with one extra painkiller, which is basically just a top up for your health. So when I don't make it through that scene 3 times, I will have 3 painkillers, which make it, of course, much easier for me to get through that situation. I think that's a genius mechanic. It works so well, and it's really rewarding. And you never do a scene more than 3-4 times, maybe. So let me talk a little bit more about the engine of the game. I'm always quite careful when it comes to engines because a lot of them don't feel right to me, and if they don't feel right, I can't play the game and I don't have a lot of fun. So this one was quite a tricky one because it's based on the Rage engine, and that has nothing to do with the one from id Software. That was for the game Rage. It is called the Rage engine, and it comes from Rockstar themselves. I wasn't really sure because, as we all know, the Grand Theft Auto 4 version for the PC was very buggy, and that was the same engine. It didn't run very smooth as well, so I was a bit worried. But actually, it was a very positive surprise that the game runs perfectly fine. It runs so smooth. You have nearly no lags. It's a very smooth, rewarding experience, and that really adds to the whole fun aspect of the game, because even simple mechanics like flying in slow motion through a room or snipering people from a distance that are quite dull in other games feel really nice here, because the guns feel right, the aiming is great, the hitbox around the characters is perfect, so when you hit them you actually hit them, and the animations are great when the bullet flies through the air, and also it really adds this layer of gore and violence to it, which of course is nothing for children, and I want to make very clear that is nothing that young kids should play. But for grown-ups who also like maybe horror, zombie movies or other action movies, I think it's just a part of the experience, and it adds to the immersiveness of the game quite a lot. So I'm going to be quiet now and just let you quickly watch this scene, which is a good example for how they make use of these cinematic scenes between different shootouts, and it's also their main tool to tell the story and to build the character. So just look how they use the camera, how the engine works with the light, and how it really comes all together to build one quite cinematic experience.
Place was like Fort Knox.
Hey, Passos. Passos. I've got you on the security camera. Where are you?
I don't know. Somewhere in this goddamn stadium. Jesus.
What's going on there?
I think the guys that came to rob us are coming to finish the job.
Remind me again, who are these fine gentlemen?
Some kind of paramilitaries, I don't know.
Paramilitaries?
Right-wing guns for hire, ex-cops, military, I don't know. But they can handle weapons.
What's going on now?
Guy's pleading for his life. He's saying that Fabiana is being held at the docks of the Chete River. Jesus, they've shot him.
Well, there goes the money. Now we've lost the wife and $3 million. The boss will be giving us a raise at this rate.
Yeah, that's messed up, all right. Come on. We gotta get out of this place. Take care of that guy in the IT tower. I'll meet you at the chopper.